I just wanted to do him justice. Our first speaker is an architect by profession, graduated in UST. He was participating in the import and distribution business for 10 years prior to seeing this business, prior to seeing Nu Skin. And this is fascinating. He's helped at least 70 people become self-made millionaires. Please help me welcome millionaire trainer, international blue diamond, and $1 Million Circle member, Dennis Ong, to the stage.
Wow. Good morning. Just want to ask, how many guys are here looking at this information for the first time? Can I see your hand first? Okay. So those people who have a dry underarm, you can raise higher. Okay. Thank you very much. My part today is going to share a bit more about what we're really doing in the market. Okay. Like what Johan mentioned, I'm an architect by profession, but I end up getting involved in the computer business in the first 10 years of my career. And a lot of my friends used to say, what happened? What made you decide to go from an architect and ended up becoming into electronics, into importing computer products and this stuff? And I told them one simple thing. It's called vision. Because during that time, I understand one thing, that when we entered the information age, people need new tools, right? How many guys here, let me just find this out, how many guys here uses the internet? Because 15 years ago, more than 15 years ago, we have no idea what an internet was, right? So when the time came that, it was first introduced, I actually saw the potential that one day, every single person would actually need to have an access to the internet. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I get involved in the electronic industry, okay? I found out that within the next 10, 15 years, it's something going to be very, very big. Exactly the same reason why we're here this afternoon, okay? Now, when we're looking at a very successful potential business or a business that has so much potential, there are certain things that you have to really verify. In fact, if you look at statistics to TTI, not all businesses actually succeed. In fact, tragically, 95% of businesses normally would fail within the first 5 years. In the next 5 years, 99% of those 5% will actually end up failing as well. So it's not just, when you put in the money, you put in the work, you become successful. In fact, even for some people, they put in the money, put in the work, they still fail miserably. So there's a reason why companies succeed and why companies actually don't grow. First is that you need to have a business that is participating in the growth industry. The trend has to be your friend. Okay? It doesn't really matter how much you like, for example, CDs. But right now, CDs is dead. We're already in digital. Right? So you need to know what's up and coming rather than participating what was successful, what was big 5, 10 years ago. Okay? You always have to be forward-looking. And that's one thing that visionaries always have. Second thing is that you need to look at the product and the services. Why? Because not all products are created equal. There are products in the market that literally people could do without. And there are products in the market that which I call necessity. You need to be in the business wherein the products are what people are looking for. Third is that you need to have a very strong backup. Okay? Nowadays, with the globalization happening, it's kind of difficult to do things on your own. In fact, choosing between two options, sabi nga nila, which is better profile for you, to jumpstart your own business, or if possible, to partner up and buy yourself a franchise. Most people would actually go for a franchise. Why? Because the franchise already have a proven system, right? It's already up and running. You probably would, not make any much mistake. That's the reason why having a very strong partner company or rather investor company is a very critical element. Because if your partner is not going to be stable, it's not going to be there for you, it doesn't really matter how much money you can make today, right? It's not going to be long term. And the most important thing is the quality of compensation. Who here likes to become financially successful? Okay, I get the right crowd. Let me ask the second question. How many here would like to be financially successful but have to work forever? Okay, so we want the money, we don't want to work, right? So sometimes it doesn't really connect. One of the most important things is you need to understand there are several types of money coming in this world. There's something called income, there's something called profits, and there's something called cash flow. What's the difference? Okay, cash flow will come in if it's going to be based on something called assets. So you want to be compensated like a cash flow instead of an income, right? So we'll talk about that later as well. And the most important thing, the timing of getting involved. Timing is everything. Okay. So let me talk about trends. This industry is gonna hit $1 trillion by the year 2025. Now put that in perspective. Every single year, people will be pouring $1 trillion every year consuming wellness and anti-aging product. Now this is not something na biglaan lang or it came out of nowhere. What we see right now is that there's a shift. Okay, people are now shifting their purchase habit. Dati we don't really care much of what we eat. We don't really to go to invest on our body or invest on our health. But people are switching their capital right now. They're now putting into products, into services that makes them live longer. And that's where the $1 trillion will come in. Okay, so that's a very huge opportunity. The question is, what is your advantage? Normally people always tell me, if you are going to go out and sell that stuff, okay, you're not the first person who will do that, right? I mean, let me ask you, how many here would like to become a successful, sabihin na lang natin, lawyer? The problem is that you're not the first lawyer, right? So, you're the what? Let's say what? The 1 millionth lawyer. So the question is, what is your advantage right now? Okay, in the entire industry of anti-aging and wellness, most often than not, outside in the market, you can only find products that will deal, okay, what we talk about on the surface level, what your body needs. Okay, so what we have right now is something that's unprecedented. It's something so exciting that even Discovery Channel will put a 1 full hour feature documentary to talk about our company and our technology. It's actually about your DNA. We changed the entire approach of nutrition. Okay? There's no need to putting nutrition in the organ if you can actually have nutrition on the DNA. Okay? If you have a very healthy DNA, technically you would have a very healthy cell, and healthy cell will lead to a healthy organ and a healthy body. So we're able to actually go into the smallest part of the human being. In fact, this particular science, it's not something that came out yesterday. It's been around for quite a while. It's called the science of epigenetics. What we found out inside our genes is that we actually have switches. Parang ilaw, you can turn it on and you can turn it off. As we get older, most of our genes can get turned off. Okay? And once you turn it off, that's where the sagging skin comes in, the whitening of the hair, the lessening of the energy, So the company one of the first few companies that pioneered epigenetic research is a company called LifeGen. Now, one of the things you need to understand about this company, okay, is that during the early 1980s, when they were doing the Human Genome Project, they were there at the beginning. They were putting on the database, and they were actually recording all the 25,000 genes you have inside your body. So it's not a very easy thing to do. It's a very complicated task. And there are very few companies on the planet that actually do this. And what LifeGen basically has is that a database of genes that control how you will age from the brain, how you age from the heart, how you age in the kidney, and how you age inside your muscles. Fascinating. We now know where to look at, right? So what happened is that they were able to have an agreement wherein Nu Skin Enterprises was able to buy LifeGen out. So in short, 30 years of research and database. Nu Skin have full proprietary ownership, which means that no other company on the planet could actually access to this data. Now, you can find a lot of products in the market. The problem is that if you don't know where to look for, how would you know the products that they sell would actually work, right? So this is what we have right now. So this is the chief scientist of Nu Skin from Pharmanex division, and he wrote this book called Anti-Aging Myth. In fact, this is a bestseller. You could go to Amazon.com, you can order this book yourself. And he, in this book, described that how we age today, the knowledge and the concept of how we age today is actually no longer the same as how people would look at aging many years ago. What do I mean? People back then think that you're aging based on when you were born. Tama? So technically, if you are 35 years old, they say that you're 35 years old, right? Nowadays, okay, you could find people who are 35, but they've got diabetes, they've got heart problem, they've got cholesterol. So technically, when you look at the body age, the body is already in their 60s. So you were born, you have an age of 35, but your body have an age of a 60-year-old. That's exactly the reason why you have all these, what you call aging diseases. Okay, and this is a very important thing because age right now is no longer as important, it's just a number. What is critical is knowing how your body is aging. What's your body age? You could be 60, but if you take care of yourself, your body could be at a 30. If it's a 30, you can do a lot more things than what other 30-year-old people are doing. Okay? So again, when we launched the first product category in the market, it's called R Square. It was the first human trial that used the product. Okay, obviously, he looks way much better in 2010 than 2005. Agree? Okay? Kung titignan mo, akala mo yung 2005, yan yung 2015 picture niya. Okay? So what this particular product does, called R Square, is having the ability to reset the huge gene clusters in 3 areas of the body, primarily the brain, secondary the heart, and tertiary the muscles. Now, why these 3 areas? Because these 3 areas contain the highest level of mitochondria in your entire body system. So what we actually did right now with this company is with the research, we were able to identify the source of aging. So you don't really need to put any more lotions, moisturizer, if to begin with, you don't have wrinkles. I mean, I haven't seen a baby putting in lotion on their face. Right? Why? Because in the first place, the wrinkles are not there to begin with. So if we can reset the genes so that the lines and the wrinkles go away naturally, therefore, ergo, you don't really need to put anything much. Right? So ageLOC is a technology, it's called the ageLOC platform. It's actually what came out. ageLOC is similar to what OS did to Apple. I'll go into that later on a little bit, okay? But this is actually a recent technology that has so many patents in it and exclusively only to Nu Skin. And this particular platform is already doing more than $1 billion a year. Let me rephrase that. ageLOC is a technology that came out of the research a couple of years ago, and within that couple of years, we're doing an annual business of $1 billion US, and we are just beginning. Okay? Like I said, we have more than several patents to get us covered. Because sabi ng kaibigan ko, alam mo, in China, maraming makokopya, di ba? Mga magaling mangopya doon eh. Pati nga yung Apple, kinokopya ng Xiaomi na phone, di ba? So, but the thing is that when it comes to anti-aging products, you need to have patents and you need to actually have these things filed, so make sure that you can guarantee exclusivity, and the most important thing, you can guarantee safety. Okay. Now, some of the people that use this particular product when we launched last year, okay. Now, if you notice, this person obviously it's a guy, okay, and you notice he actually looks much younger on the right side, right? What happens here is that as we age, kasi, the switches get turned off when it comes to production of elastin in the skin. So when you have the ability to turn on the switch, elastin production goes up, therefore the lines eventually just vanishes on its own. Very obvious in the laugh line. Okay, how many here knows people na if they smile, para na silang bulldog? Okay, we actually have something to help them out as well. Okay? I mean, it's not because they're choppy or whatnot. It's simply because when you have deep lines and wrinkles, it will just create that segregation within the cheeks. Now, how many here know people that even at a young age, they have a lot of white hair? Okay, sabi nila genetics yan, di ba? And this is the reason why. Because the genes that produce the pigmentation got turned off. Kaya namumuti sila. So we have the ability to actually rebalance the gene and get these people's dark hair growing back all over again. Okay? So can you imagine, anyone that you know nagpapatina ng buhok, nagpapatina pa sila kung yung dark hair nagsisimula from the roots growing up? There's no need for it, right? Now, we also put ageLOC in one of our gadgets called the Galvanic Spa. And what this does is that the gadget, we're using current to power it. It could deliver 80% more effectivity to whatever product you're using. Let me rephrase that. Anyone here who's using any anti-aging product in the market, gusto nating sulitin yung produkto, tama? If you can get 80% better absorption, would you want that? So we have integrated the ageLOC technology inside the Galvanic Spa. So it's not just a machine that makes you look good, it also makes you absorb 80% more of whatever anti-aging product you're using. Okay? So you get more result in a shorter span of time. Now this is actually my mentor. He's a good friend of ours from Hong Kong. And in 1995, he looks like that. The one on the thinner one, okay? The one that has the dark suit on, okay? And In 1995, that's how he looked like, and this is his recent photo. Now, look at it. Would you say that he looks much better now? Yeah. Now, people ask me, talaga, ilan taon na siya? Because sometimes we're very curious about what age people are, right? Now, before I share the age, I like you to look at this picture. Okay. Now, this picture, the first time when I look at it, sabi ko, ano yan? Is it a photo they had during a Rotary meeting? Or is it a photo that they take during a business meeting or business convention or whatever, right? Kasi kung titignan mo, everybody looks pretty old, right? Would you know that this picture is actually a class reunion? Now you know why he has his two thumbs going up, right? This is a class reunion picture. I mean, honestly, pag tinignan mo, feeling mo siya yung ano doon eh, siya yung kapatid ng isang mga nandoon. I mean, would you like to attend a class reunion at pagtingin mo, kala ng mga kaibigan mo, kala ng mga tao doon sa restaurant na kinakainan, puro tito tsaka tita mo yung mga kasama mo? You know? I mean, that's something, right? In fact, this person is actually over 50 years old. Okay, he looks over 50 years old. Okay, and one of the reasons why we asked him, what's your secret for staying young and being healthy? Sabi niya, you need to know what is a type 5 lifestyle. So what is type 5? Of course, if you don't have to worry about money, would you have stress? Mas less stress, wala, di ba? If you actually have the time, could you do the things that you enjoy? Of course, you're always happy, right? Now, if you actually have time and money, can you actually now take care of your body? So he seems very healthy, right? So this is basically what he has in his life. It's called freedom. This is what you call a type 5 lifestyle. Would you like to actually, given a chance, learn how to become a type 5? Let me pick. How many here would like to have more money, more time, and more health? Okay, so technically we'll learn more about that later on. Okay? Now, interesting with Nu Skin is that this company doesn't rest on its laurels. In fact, one key word about this company, it is synonymous to innovation. What's innovation? It means the company keeps on improving even though we're already at the top. Most companies who do very well, they just stay comfortable. We don't. We keep on getting better and better and better. Okay, what we have right now is called opportunity renewal. Let me talk a little bit about a company called Apple. You know Apple, the fun thing about Apple is that Apple has been in the market for quite some time. But it's only when they finally developed the iPod, okay, that created a little bit of noise, tama? But what really changed the game for Apple is actually called the OS, operating system. Because the OS is actually an environment exclusive to Apple. And you notice that every product that they launch, from iPod to iPhone to iPad, eventually to iTV, and the next time it will be iHome. It was iHome. Okay? All the gadgets inside your house will be connected in the OS. And this is basically what created the success of Apple because every single gadget that came out, okay, was able to break previous record. When iPhone 4 came out, people think that's the best phone you ever seen. Then we saw 4S, and people think there's no way that 4S can sell more than 4, but they did. And when the iPhone 5 came out, people say, wala masyado sigurong binago, it won't sell more than 4S, but they did. And the same thing with 5S. And I'm sure when the iPhone 6 comes out, most people will say the same thing, that it's going to be the same thing. But you know what? It's going to break record. It's called opportunity renewal. The same thing what we have today right now with Nu Skin. That's why they call Nu Skin the Apple of the anti-aging industry. Okay? What we have in 2007 was the Galvanic Spa. We have the ageLOC gel launched back then. 2009, we have the transformation. It's also ageLOC. We have the R Square. Okay? And currently right now, we're so excited because we will launch the first time in the history a product that has the ability to reset your metabolism. Okay, let me rephrase that. How many people here would know people who could eat a lot but never get fat? Wow, parang you know what? Sana ganunin tayo, no? On the other side of the table, would you know people that even if they eat so little, they just really keep on gaining weight? You know? Can you imagine that? In fact, some people tell me, you know what, Dennis, I only eat so small amount, but I really don't know how to lose the weight because I'm getting bigger and bigger. And more often than not, I see these people are in their 40s and going up. And one of the biggest factors is that your metabolism was no longer as active as you were in your 20s. Agree? What if we have the ability? What if we have the ability to reset metabolism at a genetic level? What if you could be 60, but you could burn food, burn energy as if you were a 25-year-old? Okay? Can you imagine what I'm talking about? So what we have right now is a product called TR90. Now TR90 is actually a very unique, it's not a regular weight management or weight loss product. Okay, why? Because honestly, no amount of weight or weight loss would really be permanent unless your metabolism could burn everything up. You could diet all you want. The moment you stop dieting, you get everything back and more. Okay? So when we launched the TR90 for a few, some of you guys probably have it. It's a intro kit. It's the first few people were able to sample it. It's a very limited offer. Then eventually, ubusan na siya. Okay, we're able to try it out also in markets like Singapore and Malaysia and in Thailand, in Europe, in the US. And what we found out is that even for people who's a bit, more mature in their 50s, was able to get fantastic results. Fantastic results. Okay? Now definitely talk is cheap. It's better for you to see the actual science for you to get to appreciate and get to use the product yourself. So go back to the person who invited you to get more information on this one. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, you could have a very good product, a fantastic technology, but you want to find out the partner. Is it going to be for long term? I mean, I definitely want to make sure that if I do business, the business should outlast me. What do I mean? It means that even if I don't exist, the company will still be there operating for my family. Is that important? Okay, so one of the things I look for when it comes to a partner is something called track record. You can never believe a person telling you that their company is the best or the company has the greatest. Why? Because the first thing you need to look at is track record, because track record never lie. Okay? This company in the market for 30 years, so it's not something that came out yesterday. We've been in the market for 30 years and we're doing an annual business currently of around $3.2 billion on a yearly basis. And it keeps getting stronger and stronger. Now, recently, one of the most prestigious organizations in the US called the Stevies was able to recognize the top CEO of the US market. I mean, to become a CEO of a company is really, really difficult, right? You have to be good to become a CEO. But to be voted as one of the top CEO in the entire US market, do you think that has to be a bit different league? Okay, so let's hear a few words from our CEO, Mr. Truman Hunt.
Now let's face it, when it comes to personal and family finances, things have been tough the past few years. Even for those with good jobs, today's economic uncertainties are creating a very sobering financial reality for people all over the world. And few things in life can cause more stress and anxiety than not being able to provide the quality of life you want for your family now, while also putting a plan in place to enjoy a decent lifestyle in retirement. And as I've found, even when we think we might be on the right path, I worry about my children and their future and how they're going to face some of the toughest economic realities the world has ever seen. Now, in response to this kind of stress, many of us become like the ostrich and we stick our heads in the sand and just try to do our best. We hope that when we surface, our challenges will have magically gone away. Well, my job at Nu Skin Enterprises is to work with a very talented team of people to face these challenges head on. Our goal is to enable people to not only survive economic reality, but to thrive by creating a better pathway to prosperity. So no more hiding our heads in the sand. It is possible to take control of our future. And that's why I invite you to take a look at Nu Skin Enterprises and what we have to offer. As you can see, these are very exciting times for Nu Skin Enterprises. Business trends are in our favor. There's more than $1 billion invested in your startup that is focused on a new superclass of anti-aging products. And you have our commitment to continue to innovate so that you enjoy a fresh and vibrant business opportunity. So now it's up to you. Talk to the person who showed you this video. Ask questions. We're happy to answer them. Ultimately, our mission is to be a force for good by empowering people. So on behalf of Nu Skin, we hope to be part of your journey to creating a life you've always dreamed of, a life of long-term prosperity for you and your family.
Right. Now you're here from one of the top CEOs in the world. So would you like to know how you could capitalize on a platform called Nu Skin Enterprises and ageLOC to propel you to financial freedom? Okay, so with that, I'd like to close my presentation. I'll bring back Johan to introduce the next speaker. Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you, Dennis. Everyone, another round of applause for Dennis, please. Some very impressive stuff. So to help us understand better this opportunity and how you can take advantage, we'd like to welcome our next presenter. Our next presenter was the Vice President of Merchandising for his family-owned department store business when he came upon this opportunity. Since he's joined this business, he's been able to expand into over 20 countries and helped over 200 Filipinos earn their first $1 million. Million pesos, that is. Excuse me, I forget which country I'm in sometimes. But with that, this individual is a very special individual, and he's helped influence so many people's lives. With that, please help us welcome $1 Million Earner member, Sandy Martinez.
Hello. Okay, good morning. All right. I don't know if you guys were excited about what Dennis was just sharing earlier. I had zero background in wellness, anti-aging, or sales. In fact, some of my friends, when they found out I was going to get into sales, sabi nila, hindi mo naman linya magbenta. Hindi mo rin linya mag-anti-aging. Mas linya mo maging smuggler. And so I totally understand. It was totally out of sync from what I was doing before. But I understand one thing. What I used to do, I was a buyer, and what I buy is what sells. I don't buy what I like. You understand that? There are things that you like, but doesn't sell, doesn't make a profit, right? So when you are in business, isa lang yung lilinyahin mo. Kung nasan yung pera, doon ang linyahin natin. Tama? Ay, kung yung linya mo, walang pera, di palitan mo, is that simple enough? It's too simple. So I chase after what, not something that I like, that I'm used to. I chase after something that's going to be the next big thing. So when you talk about Apple, 30 years ago, I encountered Apple as a child playing games on a personal computer of Apple. We missed that. Everybody knew what was Apple before. But then, Apple found an iOS. And when they found iOS, that was a game changer. They released something called iPad. And iPad was a brand new category that nobody has. It was something entirely different. There was no competition to it. And so when I saw that, and when they were going to come up with iPhone, I knew with Apple's technology, with the iOS, iPhone was going to be a big hit. In fact, I had a friend who actually knows the manufacturer of Apple in China. And so I was even negotiating with him to see, can we go and buy from them and sell it on the gray market? You know, I'm not in the computer business. I'm not in the cell phone business. But I know that it's going to make a killing. Yes or yes? And so that's what I look for. Now, when I heard this opportunity 15 years ago, we only had simple skincare line, and that wasn't something that I was excited in. But I was excited in the concept and the other product of this company called freedom. You see, you can be rich, you can have money, but if you do not have the time to enjoy that money, that's not called freedom. Yes or yes? Some of us work for money, but only a few of us can actually help money work for us. Yes or yes? So I participated understanding that the company could deliver on this because the products were fantastic. Skincare was totally out of my line, but it was something that was sellable. I could see demonstrable results. You see, the thing with Nu Skin that's a killer is that the product can demonstrate results in minutes. And when you see a product like that, that's a home run. That's going to be a financial home run. But when I understood what this company came up with ageLOC, I don't need to be a geneticist, to be a doctor, to understand how huge this opportunity is. Our entire life, how you age, how you get sick, how you get old, how fast you get old is controlled by one thing, your genes. And everybody is crazy about it. They go to Germany, they inject themselves with the so-called stem cell. It's the biggest scam of all time. I went there, I went to Frankfurt to investigate them, to find out whether this millions is going to be even worth it. But they don't even have any clinical study done. There's not a proof that the product actually works. Ang proof niyan, si Marcos, dalawa sila nagpa-stem cell. Yung isa, okay, paano masamang damo? Yung isa, nagka-lupus. So 50-50 pala yung ano niyan, yung chances. Are you going to make sugal? Of course not. But when I heard about this, and they said it was something called, it's a gene-based technology, and it's going to stop aging, retard aging, and influence your genetic expression, make your genes think young. Do you understand what that means? Your genes control what kind of cells are being reproduced in your body. And so what it means is that this genes is the program that's going to tell your body keep getting younger, keep getting younger, keep getting younger. And when I heard that, I said, that's ludicrous. That's crazy. Is that even real? Is that even there? And then when I found out about LifeGen Technologies, I understood that this is the first company in the world. This is the highest level of research done in genetics in the human world. Okay? Last time they could only extend the life of a spider, of a fruit fly, but with this company, they were the first to be able to lengthen the life and in fact retard the age of primates. Do you understand what that means? Nobody has this kind of technology. Nobody can claim anti-aging until they can touch the genes. And so what we're talking about is something like an iOS. It's a category pioneer. We're not even talking about a single new product. We're talking about a brand new category that nobody competes in. And that's the reason why this company's sales over the last couple of years is over $1 billion with this single product launch. And so when I understood that, and I know what was going to come out next, I said to myself, I've got to be brain dead, not take advantage, and to see how I can participate in this huge opportunity that's a first in the world. We're not talking about a product that's a first in the country. We're talking about, it doesn't matter if you're from the United States. This product is ahead of its time in the entire world. Is that good? And for the first time, you guys, I'm so excited for you. Because when Dennis was talking about those people who gain weight, hindi ba nakakainis yung mga taong kain ng kain hindi tumataba? And the first thing that's in our mind is that it's what? It's genetic, isn't it? And so for the first time, there's actually a company that can turn off those switches that actually make your metabolism aging. And so it's going to approach aging and fat loss at the genetic level and allow you to have the metabolism of a younger person. Is that good? So in that business side, I can tell you one thing, it's very exciting. From my background before as a buyer, and that's what I always look for, is the next big thing. And then from that standpoint, I can know that it's very, very profitable. Dun pa lang, sold na ako. But what got me involved in the business? Years ago, I was searching. I don't know how many of you are searching. How many of you in this group are completely satisfied with their life right now? Anyone? How many of you would love to have a better life? Okay, let me ask a more clear question. How many of you would not just want to be rich, but you want to be rich, happy, and free? Okay, I tell you what, to me, a good life is not cheap. Yes, it is. Most of us would work our whole life trying to get freedom, but we don't. We end up burning our entire life, and by the time we get that money, you have no teeth to enjoy it. You can afford to buy Angus beef, but you can't chew it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And so, it's not just about having freedom, but having freedom at the right time when you can still enjoy it. Yes or yes? So to me, this life that I'm showing you right now is a picture of what I call freedom. Is it a good life? Do you think this life is cheap? Now think about it with me. How much do you need to earn on a monthly basis to buy this kind of life? What do we need to work for? Pag ikaw ba kumikita ng 100,000 kada buwan, kaya mo na bilhin yan? Eh, swimming pool pa lang, kulang 100,000 mo eh. Swimming pool pa lang. That house, if that house was somewhere here in Taguig, you know how much this will cost? Probably 100 million. Right? If it's somewhere next door, yung dun sa may mga, what do you call that place? Beside the fort. No, if it is in Dasmariñas village, just 200 million. I'm talking about the cheaper one. The one beside the fort. The new one. Kasi yung Dasmariñas village and Forbes Park, kung hindi ka Aldrich at kung hindi ka si Pacquiao, hindi mo mabibili yun. Am I right? Ang problema ng pagiging Pacquiao, kailangan nanay mo rin si Tunisia. So yung apo mo, baka maging kamukha niya. Hindi biro lang. Alright. So how much do you need to earn to have this kind of a life? I give you a clue. There's no way you could get that as an employee. Yes, it is. But to me, this kind of a life, a good life, a big life, costs the same amount of money as an ordinary life. What do I mean by that? Yung ibang tao sa isang buhay nila, katulad ni Henry C., he has 30-something malls. This guy was just a shoe store owner. A shoe store owner to owning 30-something malls and becoming one of the richest people in the Philippines. And it's not the rich. It's the fact that he could give employment to millions of Filipinos because of his vision and his courage to pursue business. Do you understand? So, anong diferensya ni Henry C. dun sa Pilipino matanda na, umaasa pa rin sa parents? Have you noticed that? There's some people in their life, they couldn't even take care of themselves. They have to depend on other people. This big life and a small life, actually it costs the same. Isang buhay. Tama? It's one life. It costs the same one life. So time is our most precious asset. And so to me, that's my most precious resource. Ayaw kong masayang yung oras ko. So I thought about it. If I go here as an employee, am I going to get my freedom? No, there's no way. Right? So I need to have the best return for my time. So I become an entrepreneur. My parents laid out the foundation for us. They were teachers before. Thank goodness I have parents like that. Teacher yung nanay ko. Yung tatay ko, principal. Walang alam sa negosyo. Unfortunately, wala rin silang alam sa panganganak, kaya nag-aanim. So nung nagka-anim na anak, wala sila alam sa negosyo, pero kailangan lang paaralin yung anim. Eh kung ako yung anak mo, kawawa ka. You know, it took me 5 years to finish college in Canada, and it's expensive to study there. That's not even engineering. Pag nag-engineering ako, 10 years yun. You understand how expensive I can be? And so, anim na anak na ganyan. So, it's very difficult. And so, they really went into business. And they failed the first time. But you know what? It's a good thing that they were bold enough to try again. And that's when they made it. And so, I understood from everybody's example that business is the way to go. Kasi kahit papano, mas may pera. Right? At least sa employo, wala kang pera. At least pagka nagbi-business ka na, mas may pera kasi you can buy more of these things. Here's the problem. The problem is this, sabi ko sa sarili ko, you know, sadya kasi medyo genetically tamad ako. Sino dito nakaka-relate? Yung ayaw magtrabaho, gano'n? Meron ba? At saka the other thing about me is genetically, for some reason, it's not my fault. Yeah? But I find that morning is the best time to sleep. Sino nakaka-relate? Yeah? So I love to wake up when I'm done sleeping. I hate it when people wake me up, you know? And so, sabi ko, kailan ko magagawa yan? Until when am I going to work hard? I don't mind working hard. I just mind working hard forever. You know, life is short, isn't it? Life is too short. You know, and may nagbigay sa akin ng book, pang-asaran. Sabi ng book, the 100 journeys you should take in your lifetime. Magbilang ka nga. If you travel once a year only, you need 100 years to complete that. Do you understand? Life is too short, isn't it? So sabi ko sa sarili ko, until when am I going to work hard? I don't mind working hard. Until when? So I have to shorten this. Siguro talagang gano'n. Ano? When you pray, when you really want it, something appears. Opportunity appears. Sabi nga ni Evan Almighty, if you pray for an opportunity, If you prayed for success, if you prayed for freedom, do you think God will just give it to you or will He give you the opportunity? So that opportunity came to me when my friend showed me this opportunity of Nu Skin. And at first I thought, he's crazy. He's an architect. He's making $10,000 a month in 1991. And he would give up architecture to sell vitamins. Is that ridiculous? $10,000 a month is 500,000 pesos in 1991. Yung mga Apo Bay na yan dyan, piso lang yata yan o ganyan in 1991. I mean, that is dirt cheap. So if you have 500,000 a month pesos in 1991, pwede ka na bumili ng isang property sa Ayala, Alabang kada buwan. I-give up mo yun para magbenta ka ng vitamins. Isn't there something wrong? So sabi ko, bro, why are you doing that? What made you want to do this business? Sabi niya, if you were given the chance to work for just 5 years and set yourself up for life. So instead of working 40 years, we shortcut down into 5 years. Do you like the shortcut or the long cut? Is there anybody here na gusto mo talaga mag-long cut? Yung tipong dadaan ka, pupunta ka ng Cavite, gusto mo lang talaga dumaan muna ng Tagaytay, papaikot bago ka pupunta dun sa, sa Cavite. Okay ba yun? Long cut? Of course, I want the shortcut. I always want shortcut. Even in school, I want shortcut. Madadaan sa Tikoy, daanin sa Tikoy. You know what I'm talking about, right? And so sabi ko, paano yan? That's crazy. Who do we have to kill? Do we have to be another Napoles? So I actually came to this presentation to investigate. Kasi ako, may iba akong pagkatao eh. I don't trust anybody else except myself. I make my own decisions. I don't ask anybody. And the reason why I say that is because pagka nagtatanong ka sa mga tao, dami-daming opinion. Pero pag mali yung opinion nila at sinunod mo, pag nagka-problema ka, di mo makita. Am I right? There are many people with a lot of opinions, but they're not going to help you. Yes or yes? So I'd rather make my own mistakes. If I make that mistake, it's my mistake. At least I can control my future. Am I right? So I came to the presentation looking for that possibility. And when I saw this business, I was so excited. I did all the math. And I did, dalawa lang ba tinitingnan natin sa business? Yung number one is this, what's the best thing that can happen to me? First of all, that's why I will not be employed. Kasi if I'm employed and I think about it, ano problema ko? Lagi akong late. Tapos, mahilig akong maglakwatsa. Lahat sinushortcut ko. Wala namang trabaho na gusto ng ganyan, am I right? So what are my chances to become a vice president? Very slim. But even if I become a vice president, hindi pa rin ko ma-afford ito eh. Because how much do you need to make every month to make this kind of a life? How much do you make? How much you need to make? Yung 100,000, kulang yan. 100,000 na ipon. Yung 100,000 na kita, baliwala. Am I right? So we're talking about 500,000 to 1 million a month. And there's no way that the boss can give that to you. And that's the reason why ayaw ko dyan. I always look at what's the best thing that can happen to me. The second thing that you look at is what's the worst thing that can happen to me. Hindi naman lahat bed of roses, right? Pag nag-fail ka, ano mangyari sa'yo? Let's take a look again. Pag empleyado ka, sabi mo, ayaw ko yung 5 years, hindi sigurado yan eh. Dito na lang ako sa 40 years, sigurado. Sigurado nga. Sigurado kang tatandang walang pera. Apa ito problema? Dito ka sa 40 years, tumaya ka, no? If you made a mistake, by the time you're done, sitenta ka na eh. You know what I'm talking about? That's the worst thing. If you made a mistake, it's 40 years. Sabi ko dito, sabi niya, 3 to 5 years. Kung nagkamali ako, 3 to 5 years lang yan. What's the worst thing that can happen to me? Am I right? So 15 years ago, I made that bold move. I told my parents about it. Sabi niya, are you crazy? You spent the most money studying in Canada. Pagkatapos pagbalik mo, magiging Avon boy ka. Are you kidding? You know what went into your mind? Sabi ko, hindi mo maintindihan. Huwag na natin pag-usapan. Kasi in the first place, if you talk to your parents about blogging right now, they would not understand also what is blogging. Am I right? That you can make money from blogging. And so I just did it. And so now when people ask me, I said, how long have you been in that business? Sabi ko, are you asking me how long I work or how long I've been collecting a check? What happens is I work hard for this business for 3 years. And after that 3 years, I've been collecting a check for the company for the last 15 years. Is that good? Alam mo, in life, there are 4 types of people. Ano man piliin mo, ano bang kurso piliin mo, you make sure you understand first where you're headed to. The first type of people, you ask them, do you have money? They tell you, no. I don't have enough money. Laging sakto lang. Have you ever heard that before? Nung minimum wage yung kinikita mo, sakto lang. Nung kumita ka na ng 30,000, sakto lang din. Nung kumita ka na ng 100,000, sakto lang din. Am I right? Pero parang yung savings hindi nag-grow. Do you see that? And then when you ask them, do you have time? They tell you, I'm very busy. Do you know people like that? They have no time and they have no money. Until kailan? Ano yan, OJT? Isn't that a prolonged OJT? 5 years ka na, wala ka pa rin pera, wala ka pa rin oras, parang OJT. Or the second type of people, you ask them, do you have money? They tell you, no, I have no money. You ask them again, do you have time? I have a lot of time. How many of you have friends who are like that? You have friends like that? Avoid them. Kasi pag nagka-problema yan, ikaw lalapitan. Am I right? Tapos pag umutang yan, utang tiwa yan. Right? Okay. And the third type of people, you ask them, do you have money? They tell you have money. You ask them again, do you have time? They have no time. Do you know people like that? Hindi ba masaklap yung tipong akala mo, no, pinopromote ka ng boss mo. And I have good news for you. You can be promoted. In fact, I know may oras ka pa eh. Kasi nakakapaglaro pa kayo ng anak mo, nakikita ko sa Facebook. Saka nakikita ko may oras ka pa, minsan nagde-date pa kayo ng wife mo. Bilhin ko sa'yo, bigyan kita ng mas magandang titulo, dagdagan ko ng pera, akin na yung panahon mo para sa pamilya. Parang gano'n yun eh. Alright? So may kapalit eh. So kaya sabi nila, gano'n siguro talaga sa mundo. Career or family, hindi pwedeng magsabay. Pero sa tingin ko, bakit hindi pwedeng magsabay? There has got to be more than that, just, making a living. Yes, sir. There has got to be another way to earn, right? And so this was also the same way for us in the traditional business. I was surrounded by entrepreneurs. My grandfather retired when he was 85 years old. Would you like to retire at 85? Are you going to be excited? Hey, 30 years na lang. Etong problema. So when he retired, meron siyang pera, meron siyang panahon. Pero pag tawag niya sa mga friend niya para makipag-Starbucks, walang sumasagot. Tapos pagka mag-cruise siya, ayaw siya payagan kasi mas mahal na yung pabalik. You know what I'm talking about? So you don't really want to wait until you're 85 years old, isn't it? And so that's the problem in business. The business owns you. We had 300 employees before. You have no idea. Dalawang beses na kami nagka-strike. Do you know, every day, nasarado yung tindahan mo. Alam ba ilang milyon ang nawawala sa iyo? Do you understand what kind of headache you have if you have 300 people? Sabi ng friend ko, alam mo, it's less headache to have 300 cows than to have 300 employees. Tama hindi? Pero talaga, kasi dito sa Pilipinas, you have to make one assumption. You assume that everybody is honest. Yes? You make that assumption, tomorrow you're bankrupt. That's the truth. And so, that's what I noticed all around me. Sabi ko, parang hopeless na yata. Pag nag-i-empleyado ka, wala ka namang pera. Pag nag-negosyante ka, may pera ka, wala ka namang panahon. Stress ka pa. Parang hanggang dito na lang yata. Di bali na. Sabi naman ni Gretchen Barreto, okay na daw umiiyak ka, basta nasa BMW. Kasi nagtalo si Gretchen sa yung isang artista. Sabi niya, money is not everything. Sabi ni Gretchen, hindi Kung umiiyak ka nasa tricycle ka, kung umiiyak ka nasa BMW, iba yun. I'm just kidding. Okay. So that's the problem. So imagine my excitement when somebody told me, if you have the chance that you can have the money, you can have all the time in the world, and you can have the time and you can have the money, would you want to do it? And what if you can do it in 3 to 5 years? Are you willing to work hard for it? Sabi ko, are you kidding? As long as I don't have to kill, kung 3-5 taon lang naman, why not? Diba? Kesa naman 40 years. So I did not really believe. But when after the presentation, I actually saw the mechanics of it. Kasi ako cerebral ako na tao. I'm not very emotional. I have to understand the numbers, I have to believe in the numbers, and then only will I believe in whatever you say. And then when I saw it, I saw the possibility. And some people are asking me, is that a sure thing? Is there a guarantee? Now I tell you what, there are no guarantees in the world. Yes, yes. How many of you are married? Now you know what I mean, right? There are no guarantees in the world, right? It doesn't matter how you check, isn't it? But there's a fifth type of people. Kasi I know people who have the money and who have the time. But again, they have no teeth. So you cannot eat the things you like. And so the fifth type of person is this. You have the money, you have the time, and you have the youth. And because of ageLOC, you can do it now. Is that good? Can you imagine if there is a product out there that after consuming it for 10 to 12 months, your body will behave like 20 years younger? How much would you pay for that kind of a product? It's priceless, right? And so that's the product that we have, the type 5 type of person. Okay, so it's not about selling products. It's not about the work. It's about freedom. Okay? So there's two ways to make money, and you need to understand this too. If you understand this too, then you'll understand how you can compress 4 years into 5 years. The first way is called working hard. Working hard means this, 100% of your income is based on your effort. So in order to make more money, you have to work harder. That what it is? That's the usual, isn't it? Ito problema dyan. Pag basketball player ka, ano? Pray ka lang, huwag ka matapilok. Kasi pag natapilok ka, isang linggo lang, kinalimutan ka na ng madla. Kinalimutan ka na rin ng boss mo. Am I right? Yeah. I mean, so, this is, if you are a neurosurgeon, kaya lang, nagkapasmo ka, pasmada, yung sinasabi nila na pagka daw pinapawisan ka, huwag ka maligo. Neurosurgeon ka, tapos nag-shake yung kamay mo. They say that a recession is due. It's actually overdue right now. My question is, if there was a recession, and you were to lose your job, and you are the breadwinner of the family, how many of you here are breadwinners in the room? So can you imagine if you do not have a job for the next 6 months, what is going to happen to your family? This is what happens when you are just depending on your own effort. See, John Paul Getty is a billionaire, and he said, I'd rather have 1% of the effort of 100 people than 100% of my own effort. That's called working smart. Okay? And so that's why you create a system that could multiply your efforts 1,000 of them, so that the system can work even without you. If you have 1% of 100 people's effort, if you stop working, there's still 99% of the people who are working. Yes or yes? And so that's what I call working smart. If you understand this, the difference between the two, then you will know where the money comes from. Okay? So I want to introduce you to my uncle, si McDonald. Kilala niyo si McDonald? Alam mo si McDonald, ang story ng McDonald, hindi kanya yung McDonald's. Ginamit lang yung pangalan niya. Actually, binili yan ni Ray Kroc kay McDonald's. Nakita niyo Ray Kroc, masarap yung burger mo, maganda yung french fries ko, maganda itong operation mo, bilhin ko yung negosyo sa'yo. Well, kung ikaw sa McDonald's, ba't mo binenta? Kasi akala mo, yung binabayad sa'yo, mas malaki na sa kaya mong kitain. Am I right? You think you're gonna make this much. But, bakit binili ni Ray Kroc na mas mataas na presyo? Because he thinks that he can earn that much. So you saw. And what he sold was this, he did not understand. Kasi ang nakita ni McDonald's, burger, yung business niya, retail. Magbebenta lang ako ng burger. Binili ko sa Divisoria, i-chop ko yung beef, pagkatapos ibebenta ko. Yun na nakita niya. Pero yung nakita ni Ray Kroc, iba. Ang nakita niya buong mundo. He was talking about a different concept. So alam niya, pagkakakitaan niya, baliwala yung binigay niyang pera kay McDonald's. And that's why now McDonald's has 30,000 franchises. And sabi ni McDonald's, sabi ni Ray Kroc, may dalawang trending na nakikita niya. Number one, people look for fast food. Yun yung trend. The second thing is people are looking for alternative businesses. Kasi sawa na sila sa pagtatrabaho. So sabi niya, bibigay ko sa kanilang formula. Tried and tested na. Wala nang risk, pero meron akong 3%. And 30,000 people said yes, and that's why he makes about $1 million a day. Is that good? Itong maganda eh. Si Ray Kroc patay na. Si McDonald's patay na rin. Pero yung kinikita niya sa isang araw, mas malaki na sa kinikita mo. Okay ba yun? Yun ang tinatawag dito. Yung sistema, yung institution na binild niya, na tinayo niya, tumatakbo na. Tumatakbo na yun kahit nawala siya dyan. That's what I mean by complete leverage. And it's also talking about vision. You see, kahit nandito ka nakikita mo itong negosyo, hindi lahat ng tao makakakita ng malaking negosyo. You see what happens? Let me give you a very local example. How many of you have heard of a burger company called Scott's Burger? Anyone? I study in Quezon City. So I went to school in Grace Christian. So sa labas ng Del Monte, meron dong Scott's Burger. Matagal na yung Scott's Burger. Biruin mo, 10 years ago na ako ng high school, so medyo matagal-tagal na yun. Okay, itong Scott's Burger, hanggang ngayon, iilan lang sila. Siguro mga 4 o 5 lang. No. So wala nakakilala ng Scott's Burger. Pero, how many of you have heard of Angel's Burger? Anybody? Okay. Ngayon, kung yung kanto ng bahay niyo walang Angels, isa lang ibig sabihin ng delikado sa inyo. Ngayon, yung Angel's Burger, pag tinikman mo yung burger nila, may manonotice ka. Pareho yung nasa sa Scott's Burger. Bakit kasi ka mag-anak eh? Kinuha pa rin recipe kay Scott's. So, nauna si Scott's by tens of years. Pero hindi na nakita yung negosyo nakita ni Angels. So, hindi pala sa produkto nagkakatalo kung anong nakita mo. You see, the thing is, I came to this opportunity 15 years ago. I was not alone. There were people who saw it. Kasi pati anak ni Lucio Tan sumali eh. Pero iba ang nakita ko ito eh. Hindi ko nakita yung product, hindi na ako nakinig ko anong product. Ang nakita ko yung freedom ko. Nakita ko I can do global business. When I studied in Canada, I had classmates from unheard of places like Mauritius Island, Seychelles, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, all these places. And I realized that this business I can expand around the globe. That's what I saw. That's why I bought into it. And today, I earn income from over 20 countries. Is that good? Tomorrow, I fly to Milan. From Milan, I go to Venice. From Venice, I go to Greece. From Greece, I go back to Florence and so on to do shopping and all that. And guess what? All these places, I have people. Is that nice? You know, so it's very interesting. Hindi naman ako nag-contact sa kanila. Pagpunta ko ng LA, meron din akong kapartner doon. Pagpunta ko ng Germany, meron din akong kapartner doon. Pagpunta mo ng Tokyo, I've never been to Tokyo, takot ako sa radiation. Pero may partner pa rin ako. Is that nice? So that's the beauty of this business. If you understand the power that we have right now in our hands, you know what's our edge? The Filipino has mastered the theory of relativity. Yes or yes? We have relatives all around the world. Yes or yes? And so if there is one country that has the biggest potential to go global, saan man lukalok ng mundo, may Pilipino doon and they speak the language. Ganon ka madiskarte ang Pinoy. Pag napunta ka sa China at nawawala ka sa Guangzhou, maghanap ka ng Pinoy. Sigurado alam niya kung saan ka pupunta at saan ka sulok-sulukan, saan bibili ng pinakamura, alam ng Pinoy. You know what I'm talking about? You go to places like Singapore, my goodness. Okay? And so the potential for this business is huge for us. Okay? And with a product like ours, like nobody has them. I don't care who I talk to. I talk to people from Colombia, I talk to people from India, and everybody's excited because universally, everybody will age. Alright? Sino dito tumatanda? Meron ba hindi tumatanda dito? Sino gusto tumanda? Meron ba? O, diba laki na market natin? All around the world, ganyan yung mga tao tanong mo. Okay? And so, that's what I saw. So now I'm going to show you, how do you earn? And so this business, you can earn small time and there's big time. Sino dito gusto kumita ng extra income? Okay, sino dito gusto kumita big time na income? Alright, okay. I'm going to show you how to earn both. Okay, as a distributor, step 1, if you want to make some extra income, it's really easy. You know, para bumili ka ng product sa Divisoria, binenta mo, kikita ka. That's very simple. And the good thing about this is the products of this company are so unique. Isang kwento mo lang because it's such a different kwento. Bibili na agad yung mga tao. Mabilis, magaan siyang ibenta. And so for you to make 20 to 30,000 a month is highly possible. And wala ka pang boss. Is that good? Ano gusto mo? 20,000 a month, pero graveyard ka. Alam mo ba tinawag yan na graveyard shift? Kasi malapit ka na sa grave. Yun ang totoo doon. 5 taon lang, tinanda mo. Hindi mo alam, tingnan mo lang. Yung mga pimples mo pa lang, hindi mo kayang bayaran yan. Hindi kaya ni Bendo yan, am I right? Oo, baka mamaya pati sa pet may pimple ka. But the point is that the products are so good that, you know what, just a simple conversation, you don't have to hard sell and the products will sell. Okay? However, I'm not here to sell products. Hindi ka yayaman sa pagbebenta ng product. What you will do is you want to learn how to become McDonald's. You want to learn how to become Angel's Burger. How could you spread out across the globe? And that's when you become a franchise builder. As a franchise builder, the only thing that you need to do is to buy a business kit containing your products for yourself to use. Isa lang yung mortal sin sa business na to. Bawal magsinungaling. Kaya bawal si Miriam dito. Okay. Kailangan gamitin mo yung product. You have to be the product of the product. Is that okay? When you get your business kit, you have your global business ID, and the most important thing that you're going to get from here is the training. Okay? Alam mo, ang Jollibee, kaya mahal ang Jollibee, 30 million. Hindi yung recipe yung binibili mo. Yung binibili mo yung sistema. Yung paano gawin ang Jollibee. Madaling magsabi, gusto mo magnegosyo. Marunong ka ba magnegosyo? May experience ka ba? Marunong ka ba kung anong sasabihin mo, anong gagawin mo? Enough ba yung kakilala mo? Do you have the right contacts for it? And if you don't have that, I have good news for you. The training of this organization is so great that we can turn ordinary people to have extraordinary success. And you will meet them later. Okay? And so how do you get back your investment? Do you have 5 friends? Let me repeat my question. Do you have 5 friends who are looking for better income? Yes? Do you have 5 friends who want to lose fat without diet and without exercise? Do you have those kind of friends? Right? Do you have friends who want to lose their wrinkles? Or are your friends saying, no, don't touch my wrinkles, that's not me. Meron bang ganyan? That's my trademark. Okay? So, next mo na lang yan. Huwag mo nang pansinin yun. May top-up yun. Alright? Okay. So, when you invite your friends, meron ba sila mga friends na gusto rin pumayag? Yes. And you're going to get 5% from whatever they use and whatever they sell. And so, that's how you will make your first 20 to 30,000. And so, I asked myself, what about overhead? What about warehousing? What about logistics? Sino magde-deliver doon? Sino magaganyan? At sabi sa akin, everything is handled by the company. The only thing you need to do is to become the marketing director to your own business. Is that good? You just connect these people to the company, Skype with them in the United States. When they use the product they buy from the company, you have 5% in dollars. Good or good? So that's the beginning. That's how you make 20,000 to 30,000 a month. Let's say you want to make more. Let's say you want to make, say, 70,000 a month. How do you do that? You want to qualify to become an executive. Parang team leader ka na. And that's a training time. 1 month to 6 months. Sa trabaho, ganoon din, di ba? Si 6 months, magsi-70,000 yung kita mo, di ba? Ganoon ba? Kailan magsi-70,000 yung kita mo sa trabaho? Sa call center, kailan? Matagal na, no? Dito, mga 6 months lang. Pero pag mabilis ka, 3 months lang. Pag mas mabilis ka pa, parang sister ko, magaling kasi yung kapatid, 1 day. Alright? How do you become an executive? When you become an executive, you now manage a team of people. So there's now a group of people here. May iba dyan customer lang. May iba dyan gusto mag-buy and sell. And there's some people that you're also coaching to become a franchise. And so because you are the leader of this team, the company is going to give you 9 to 20% of everything in this egg basket. Good or good? Now we have this revolutionary product called DR90. Let me just share with you my experience. I have a friend in Singapore. And you know Singaporean, the worst thing that you can tell them to do is to go on a diet. Because they eat 5 to 6 times a day. And this friend enjoys everything from cheeses to steak to everything na fine food. Gusto niya. But when he saw me R90, sabi niya, you know, I don't think this is going to work for me because of my dietary habits, but I will use it anyway because I need to lose weight. She went to China. When she came back, she could not stop talking to me about it. She said, do you know what happened to me? I said, what? He said, my masseuse said, I have a new body. I looked in the mirror, and my body was shaped differently. It's almost like I reversed 20 years apart from losing weight. Can you imagine that? Is that good? So when you have 10 people who want to get back the body and wear a bikini again, alright? 10 lang na ganung tao, ang sales mo dyan, mga $10,000 na yan. So that 20% is already $2,000 a month. Good or good? If you were going to make $2,000 a month, and you did not have a boss, flexi time. Okay ba yun? Okay, unless ayaw mo ng time. Hindi, ayaw ko ng time. Gusto ko yung boss ko. What about your family? Di ba yung family, boss mas importante. Meron bang ganon? Okay, so how do you go big time? First step lang yan. To become a franchise, to qualify as a franchise is the first step. The next step is to become a leader. Ito pala. Do you like helping people? In the realm of possibilities, can you find 4 people to help to become executives? Can you? How many of you can find 4 people? Okay, if you can help 4 people to become executives, your code is 4-star. And when you become a Ruby executive 4-star, what happens to you is this. You have a free trip. Ito lang disadvantage sa business na to, lagi kang inig-istorbo. Mamaya-maya lang, nagtatravel naman. Kagagaling lang namin this year sa Turkey. Pupunta naman kami ng Bali. Eto, pupunta na naman kami ng Japan. Tapos lahat 5-star. Nakakainis. So you tell your partner, tutulungan mo hindi. Kasi kung hindi kita isasama. Magsasama ko ng iba. Okay ba yun? Okay? And so it's one thing to go to Japan on budget. Alam mo naman sa Japan, parang box yung mga hotel. It's one thing to go there free, 5-star. Is that good? And I heard the next success trip after Japan is Europe. Wala mang gusto pumunta ng Europe, di ba? Meron ba yun? Okay. Paris yata eh. No, hindi ko sure. Sinasabi ko lang, sinasuggest ko kay Johan para sabihin niya Paris. Okay. So, leadership in this business is all about helping people. You know, I spoke to somebody who's extremely rich. And I asked her this question. Why are you still so excited about this business? Sabi niya, you know, I found in this business what my money couldn't get me. I said, what did you find? Sabi niya, number one, I found my mojo back. I'm so excited again. And the second, this business is my mission. Because only in this business am I able to help others improve themselves. Samantalang sa negosyo ko, lahat ng mga empleyado ko nagtatrabaho lang para sa akin. Dito, you have to help other people. And the joy that you get out of changing and transforming people's lives is incomparable. Is that nice? And so when you help 4 people to become successful here, so you're a leader, and you help people to become executives as well. Ganun lang. And when that person becomes an executive and graduates, the company is going to give you 10% of that entire person's business, that entire franchise. Is that good? Alam mo yung 10% na yan, parang condo yan na may rental na natatanggap ka. Yung condo, for example, kung ito may 10 customer din sila, and 10% of $10,000 is $1,000. But this $1,000 is coming to you and you're no longer working because this group is already independent. So the 10%, yung $1,000 yung dumadating sa'yo is whether you like it or not. Is that good? You like to make money whether you like it or not? How can you earn that? If you buy a condo at Rockwell, 10 million, you make 50,000 pesos. Ano mas madali? Maghanap ng 10 million o tumulong ng isang tao? Tumulong na nakatulong ka pa, am I right? So if you help people who are better than you, and they can help people under them, from all those franchises all around the world up to 6 generations, you're going to get 5%. Good or good? So I started right here. And then now, I have 750 of these franchises all over the world. And these 750 combined gives me millions of dollars every month in sales revenue. Now tell me, if you have a business, yung sales revenue mo, millions of dollars, okay ba na business yun? Is that a big business? Ito maganda. Wala akong overhead. Wala akong pinapaswerduhan. Wala akong iniisip na renta. Wala akong hinahabol. Wala akong sakit ng ulo. You know what I told my friend? This business is outsourcing at its best. Ano yung outsource mo? Yung sakit ng ulo, lahat bigay mo sa kanila. Okay ba yun? If you help 4 people to become successful, you're called a Ruby executive. Johan, you didn't do your assignment. But anyway, a Ruby executive earns in pesos about 100-something thousand pesos a month average. Is that good? Okay, this is in Singapore dollar. So pardon the because we were in Singapore making this presentation. By the way, if you have contacts in Singapore, we were going to be starting to expand there to the Filipino market. So if you have contacts in Singapore, make sure you inform us about it para hindi mahuli yung mga kaibigan mo doon. Para pagbalik nila dito, first-class citizen sila. Mayaman sila. Is that okay? Okay. So if you help 4 people, you become a Ruby and you make about $3,000, so about 100-something thousand pesos per month. Good or good? Masweldo na yan ng isang bank manager, ng isang hindi bank manager, vice president. Ano mas madali? Maging vice president o maghanap ng 4 na tao? Do we have Ruby executives in the room? Can you please stand up? Ruby executives? Alright, let's give them a round of applause, yeah? Okay. Great, thank you. Help 2 more people and you're called an emerald. And an emerald makes 200-something thousand pesos a month on the average. These are now audited public figures. This is audited by PricewaterhouseCoopers. Now, do we have any emerald executives in there? Can you please stand up? Emerald executives? Alright, let's give them a round of applause, yeah? Okay, thank you. Now, if you help 2 more people, 8 people, in the realm of possibilities, is it possible we can help 8 people in 3 years? Yeah, if you help 8 people, you're called a diamond, and a diamond makes about 500,000 pesos a month permanent income. Pwede ba pagtsagaan? Pwede ba pagtsagaan? Punta ka sa nanay mo. Sabi mo, Nay, Itong 100,000, pasensyahan nyo na po. Next time, dadagdagan ko pa. Pero para sa ngayon, 100,000 na lang po muna. Okay lang ba? Do you think people will look at you differently? Aba, ikaw nang pinakamagaling. Dati ikaw walang kwenta, bla bla bla. Ngayon, ikaw ang pinakamagaling, pinakamatalino, pinakalahat. Pag uwi mo pala, anak, ano gusto mo na ipaghahain kita? Am I right? Oo, buong barangay mo, pagdidiwang ka. Pag birthday mo, akala mo, birthday ng bayani. No. Not just nandito ka pa. You don't have to be an OFW. What if you can find 12? You know, nung nakita ko itong diamond, sabi ko, okay na ako dyan. Okay na ako dyan kasi magkano lang naman yung capital ko. Wala pang $1,000 yung capital ko. Kung ganyan lang, bali wala. Sabi ko, because to earn that kind of income, I have to own a Jollibee. Yung Jollibee, 500,000 lang ang return ng kada buwan. Pagkatapos, 30 million ang capital. Dito, laway lang yung capital ko. Nakatulong pa ako ng 8 tao. Is that good? Okay, what if you can find 12? If you find 12, you become a blue diamond. And a blue diamond income is averaging around 1.82 million pesos per month. Pwede na ba pagtsagaan yun? Sabi ko, gano'ng katagal maging blue diamond? Sabi nila, the average is 5 years. Sabi ko, ilan ang blue diamond sa buong mundo? Di ako naniniwala. Baka 1 o 2 tao lang. Baka tsumamba lang yan. Baka nauna lang yan. And I found out there are 3,000 blue diamonds in the world. Is that good? Fantastic. Sabi ko, oh my gosh. 3,000 may chance ako. Pag cum laude, wala akong chance kasi isa lang yun eh. So I went to Singapore and I was doing a research. Sabi ko, baka naman sa mga malalaking country lang yan, like China. Ano ba Singapore? Kasi 5 million lang tao sa Singapore eh. Tapos pag tinanggal mo yung mga Pilipino, 3 million na lang natira. So tinanong ko, ilan ang blue diamonds sa Singapore? And I found out that there's about 100 blue diamonds in Singapore. Is that fantastic? If a small country like Singapore with 5 million people can produce 100 blue diamonds, in a country with 100 million people, not including the rest of the world, can we produce 100 million peso earning individuals? Can we produce it? Yes! Of course we can. Kaya sabi ko, etong maganda. Sa Pilipinas, pag maghanap ka ng kapital, baka yung tao ng kapital. Pero kung diskarte at diskarte lang, mas magaling ang Pinoy. Am I right? Kung pakikisama lang at PR lang, wala nang gagaling pa si Pinoy. Am I right? We export talents. Unfortunately, ibang bansa nakikinabang while your friends here are suffering. Why don't we start exporting entrepreneurs so that we will become global entrepreneurs and they will bring home dollars here and benefit the country. Is that good? Yes. Okay. And so in this country, there were a few bold people. Ano kung nagsimula ako, nakaupo lang ako dyan eh. Dami ng tao, wala akong nakita ibang tao, nakita ko lang sarili ko, sabi ko, kaya ko yan. Wala namang time limit, 12 lang, di ba? Maghanapin ko 12. Kahit 10 taon para makadevelop ng 12, okay lang sa akin. Yet there are some people in our team that become faster and faster. Took me 5 years, somebody took 3 years, and just recently, I heard that in the team, somebody has just qualified to become a blue diamond in 12 months. Okay ba yun? Okay ba yun na in 1 year from ano na yun? August. Tatak mo. August 2015. You're gonna have a celebration. You call all your friends in the batchmates and etc. Bakit? Wala, may konting salo-salo lang. Ano yun? Wala, nag-graduate na ako. Ano yan? Blue diamond na kasi ako eh. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng blue diamond? Wala, konti lang. Mga 2 million a month. Okay ba yun? Okay? So in the Philippines, there were a few bold people, there were a few people who have already stepped up to the plate and have already become blue diamonds. Would you like to meet them and listen to them? Alright, so let's introduce some of the blue diamonds, local blue diamonds from the Philippines.
Our first blue diamond, Justin Gatti got my tongue. Blue diamond, Maria Flores. Blue diamond, Justin T. Blue diamond, Paulo Eborra. Blue diamond, Marlon Ilagan. Blue diamond, Rhea Orellano Budani. Blue diamond, Ryan Budani. Blue diamond, Erwin Agustin. Blue diamond, Kale Becerra Agustin. Blue diamond and $1 Million Circle member, Daniel Logan. And blue diamond, one-star creator, and $1 Million Circle member, Dennis Ong.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so my name is Gadi Gadmaitan. I graduated from De La Salle University. I took up industrial engineering. The reason why I did this using business is very simple because growing up, I saw my family succeed in business. I saw the freedom that they was able to create for themselves, and I kind of wanted that freedom for myself. I did. What happened is when I graduated, I decided to not get a job, but instead go straight into the Nu Skin business. I've been doing this business for 4 years. It took me 3 years to become the youngest, fastest Blue Diamond executive here in the Philippine market today. I'm 26 years old. I'm 26 years old, and I do not regret a day in my life. I always tell people who see this business for the first time, worst case scenario, you make extra income. Best case scenario, you really change your life. If you do this business just for 1 to 2 years, you create a strong, stable, 6-digit income. But then, if you do this business and become a diamond, Blue Diamond executive, you're not successful just for yourself anymore, but you help other people succeed as well. So if you're that type of person who has the same values, who wants to succeed and give that opportunity to others, then do this business with us and let's succeed in Nu Skin together. Thank you very much.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Justin. Same as Gani, I also graduated from La Salle. I also took up industrial engineering. We're actually good friends in college. Sa batch namin siya yung kilalang guwapo. Ako yung kilalang mabait, no? So, nauna lang ako nag-graduate and he was a fresh grad. I was working already. I worked for an IT company known as SAP Philippines. Why? Sabi ng professor ko, that field bagay sa course ko. With 2 years experience, I can easily work for big companies such as P&G, Nestle, Unilever. If I want to work abroad in Singapore, kaya-kaya. My older brother works in P&G, my younger brother works in Singapore. Both of them were super successful. I wanted to become successful as well. So I took that career, but what I just didn't like with my job, ang powerful kasi sa IT, very routine yung work. It's the same, everyday, paulit-ulit, overwork, underpaid. Hindi ako excited going to work. And I wanted to have a different opportunity. Luckily, I saw Nu Skin. I saw it 4 years ago, I did it. And luckily, it changed my life. I've been doing this business for 4 years. I'm one of the company's Blue Diamond executive as well. Definitely no regrets. This business has changed my life, and I know in our hearts, it can also change yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Paolo. I turned 27. I've been doing the business I was 19, third year college. I graduated from Ateneo de Manila. I knew nothing about business, but basically I became open to do it at a young age because I wanted a change in direction in my life. You see, my parents are both OFWs. My mom is a nurse in the Middle East. My dad is an engineer in Australia. Although they gave me a good life, I wasn't quite contented because they were mostly absent in special moments of my life. I wanted them to come back home, and at the same time, I didn't want really that kind of life for my future family. So I became open for other options, and good thing Nu Skin represented to me, and I gave it a shot. So the rest is history. Right now, I'm one of the youngest Blue Diamonds in the company. One of, because a good friend of mine from La Salle, Gati, happens to be 6 months younger than me, and he became Blue Diamond half the time I did. Then another friend of mine, a very good friend of mine from Ateneo, is about to become Blue Diamond in a year, and he's 4 years my junior. So sila na, okay lang, I get 5